Are you right? Huh? What, this? Nothing much. Just dislocated my shoulder. Again? Mainly because they're stupid foreigners doing stupid things. So, for those of you who don't know, this is the second time I've dislocated my shoulder. Both times having been done in Japan. Let's just take a little walk down memory lane. The first time. So here we go. So yeah, that was pretty bad. Dislocated it at the top of Mount Fuji. Won't say doing what. But yeah, from the top of Fuji to the actual hospital, it took 6 hours before it was popped back in. So it took about a year and a half of me going to rehab, stretching every day, going kind of 2-3 times a week, and that was shit. This time, it's on the mend, but it's not as bad. It was kind of put in an hour. However, it could have been put in much quicker. So today I'm going to be sharing my experience with you. Monday morning, bike to school. Get to school, obviously, because I've just biked there. During the day, I decide to join one of the PE classes. Walk in, and they're practicing their sports day. So, for example, throwing a handball. I'm just looking students throw the balls. They're doing kind of long jump in the corner, high jump in the other corner, and throwing a ball in the middle from one corner to the other. Teacher comes along and he hands me the ball. I'm like, oh, okay, here we go, I'm gonna dominate this, I'm gonna dominate it. I decide to opt for the same throw as a cricket bowl. That's a full swing of the arm with a kind of heavy-ish ball. Bear in mind, my shoulder was already dislocated 3 years ago, so at the point when it reached literally there, I felt it dislocate. The ball still went pretty far, but my shoulders just came out. Straight away, all my muscles are tensing up, can't move my arm, painful to walk, and I was like, shit, dislocated. Teacher then hands me the ball and he's like, oh yeah, more go, one more. And I'm like, what? Definitely not. I run into the teacher's room and I'm like, let's get there. But obviously not in some weird, pervy anime voice. My vice principal stands up and a couple of teachers, they assist me downstairs to the nurse's room. Go in there and I'm like, okay, right, it's been a few minutes, just pop it back in, you're the school nurse, pop it back in. She can't do anything. She just stared at me, she was like, does it hurt? And I'm just there like, screaming in agony. She's like, do you want an ambulance to come? No, I'll just leave my arm hanging out, shall I? Call the ambulance and they say, right, it's gonna be here in about 10 minutes. Eventually the ambulance comes. They say, can you walk? So I stand up, and turns out, no, I can't walk. And they said, I have to go to them. So in the end, I walk there, and my teachers even have the nerve to say, like, oh, where's your outdoor shoes? I'm like, forget that. So I just walk outside in my indoor shoes, get in the ambulance. I'm like, right, get in the ambulance, hospital's 5 minutes away, bada bing, bada bong, let's go. No. Waited in the ambulance on the school grounds for a good 15 minutes. Paramedics in the ambulances aren't really paramedics. Most of them have trained as firefighters. Usually when an ambulance is dispatched, it goes from the fire department. The paramedics themselves are also not fully trained. So let me give you an example. The July 7th bombings in London. Paramedics arrived at the scene and they were given painkillers, they were given intravenous drips to the critically injured. They were doing everything they could to stabilise someone's life. You can't do that in Japan. Japan have only in the last 10 years been even able to use a defibrillator, but they still are not allowed to administer epinephrine or like adrenaline unless the heart stops. Pretty much, if you're bleeding out, they can stop the wounds. Other than that, they're not allowed to administer anything. I asked the staff, the ambulance crew, can you please just pop it in? The quicker you pop it in, the less rehab I have to do, the less pain I have. No, they wouldn't. So get in the ambulance, 15 minutes just waiting, because they have to call which hospital I can go to. This is another thing, right? 99% of hospitals are not open 24/7. Usually they're open 9 till 5, give or take a couple of hours. And then there'll be one hospital in that kind of district that is open for the night. So literally, if you are dying out and someone's with you, they have to check online first which hospital to take you to. Back in the car, ambulance is calling about 3 hospitals. All of them are kind of saying no, no, no. And I'm literally, the place I went to before is literally 5 minutes down the road. And I'm like, just take me there, I've been there. So I've got all this pain going through my mind. I'm trying to crack out my Japanese. And the guy's just going like, daijoubu desu ka? Daijoubu desu ka? Oh, it does my head in. So anyway, the ambulance then headed off at around, I would say, at a max speed of 10 miles an hour. Japanese ambulances are so slow. And it doesn't help that other cars and pedestrians ignore them. And you'll hear things like this. And this. And this. Ambulances in England will just go, oh my god, we've got someone dying, let's get from A to B as quick as you can. Loud sirens, big van, blue lights, boom, they just go as fast as you can, and everyone knows. You see an ambulance, get out the way, because they have right of way. Pedestrian, car, doesn't matter. Ambulance has right of way, because if that person's dying, they need to get there. Because if you're dying, you want other people to get out of the way, so you can get saved. In Japan, ambulances travel very slowly, and no one really gives way to them. If the ambulance is kind of turning around a corner, or turning to go around a corner, but the pedestrians are kind of walking across the road because they've got right of way, sometimes the pedestrians won't even move. I've seen ambulances all the time, and they're kind of travelling, and if they're coming from a T-junction or like a side road onto the main road, you can definitely hear the ambulance. Like, the ambulance is loud enough, but cars just don't give way. Calm down, like, stop and let the ambulance go. They just keep going. Like, cars don't stop at all, like, especially on busy roads. They'll just keep going, they don't care. So yeah, don't get injured in Japan, because it sucks. But yeah, coming from England where like the NHS is free, in Japan you have to pay, depending on what system you're on, anywhere from £150 to £300 a month health insurance. And then when you get injured, 70% of your medical bills are covered. And now, yeah, I have to go to rehab for about the next 4 to 6 months. Looking forward to that, and probably have to get surgery. So, but yeah, I've kind of spent the past couple of days doing things like this. So yeah, I've been going to rehab now for 2 months, and coincidentally I'm literally wearing the exact same t-shirt that I wore 2 months ago. But yeah, rehab has gone much faster than last time. Like I said before, it took about a year and a half for full use of my arm. This time been going to rehab for about 2 months, and it's almost nearly there. I can do a lot of things like this, even though it clicks and it's a bit scary. The bad news is that because I've dislocated it twice already, there's an 80% chance that it'll be dislocated again, which absolutely sucks. I've been advised strongly to get surgery. I was told at the start that there were 2 types of surgery. The first type is where they stitch the ligaments together, which creates a stronger, more stable shoulder joint. And the second is where they take a bit of your bone from the clavicle and they literally attach it to your shoulder. So next time when your arm is literally going to come out, it literally cannot move because of the bone. So unfortunately that limits your range of motion. So like, for example, this is my left arm. Not that I'm showing you my guns, but this is my left arm. Like, I can get all the way back there, go over here. It will literally be, like, if I get surgery, it'll just be 90 degrees and that's as far as I can go. So that was a bit annoying because I want to obviously play like badminton and do other sports in the future. Yeah, Turns out I only need the first kind of surgery, a couple of hours in the surgery room, 4 days in hospital where I'll be doing 4 days in hospital where I'll be doing very basic movements, and then after 4 days I'm allowed to leave, and then I'll have another 6 months of rehab. Anyway, I don't know what this video was kind of about really. It was just me complaining about how the ambulance was really slow getting to the doctors. Kind of made a 10-15 minute video out of it somehow, but yeah, that's it. Basically, this is just me complaining. So if you are injured in Japan, don't get any advice from this video, because I haven't given you any. Just, yeah. See you later.